Welcome back to Entrance and Beyond. This is another internship episode. So today I have Sakshi Patil from Cummins College of Engineering, and she is currently doing her internship at Adobe. So we're going to talk about her entire journey from being a CA aspirant. So she wasn't someone who always wanted to be a computer engineer. So she'll explain her story how she went from being a CA aspirant. She also wanted to do stuff with UPSC and things like that. But at the end of the day, she entered engineering college, and now she's doing good. So we're going to talk about the entire internship journey. And yeah, that is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about DSA projects. So I think this podcast is going to be really helpful for people that are looking for jobs and for people that want to solve a bit more DSA and get their dream job. So thank you, Sakshi, so much for coming to my podcast. So yeah, hopefully I didn't miss
Yeah.
anything out in the introduction. Is there anything else you want to tell about it
No,
apart from
no,
academic?
it's very brief introduction for me, and thanks for that. And also thanks for inviting me on this platform. Yeah, myself Sakshi Patil. I'm a third year student at Cummins College and currently interning at Adobe as a product intern. And my work is related machine learning here. Apart from that, I also participated in some hackathons like the Walmart hackathon. I was also the finalist in the Mastercard hackathon conducted by the Mastercard, and also I was the mentee for the City Bridge program conducted by the city, and I'm also the mentor for the Code Club from the Cummins College. Yeah, that's it about me, and I'm happy to hear and part of this conversation. I hope this some words of me impact some others' lives. That's it
Yeah.
about me. Thanks.
Yeah. So Sakshi, let's
Yeah.
let's start with your journey because your journey is a bit interesting. Because most of the podcasts I've done so far, it has been people who
Yeah.
always do computer science or get into IT. So yeah, let's talk about how your journey unfolded,
Yeah.
how life was before you entered uh, Cummins College.
Uh, Yeah. So since childhood, I love mathematics. Like maths is my favorite subject. So at that time, I was thinking that I will become the chartered accountant because for that the maths is very important. So in my entire high school life, I was in that thought that I will become the chartered accountant. But when I completed my 10th standard, I got to know a little bit about the profession and all those things. And at that time, I got to know that commerce, if you choose the commerce as a career, then there are very less options for the job. So my mind changed a little bit, and then I got some suggestions from the cousins and all those things ki go for the UPSC and you will crack that. And my parents has a very faith on me, like I will crack the UPSC. So I thought, yeah, I will prepare for the UPSC. So for the UPSC, you require some backup option, right? If you not clear the UPSC, then there should be some backup option. So I thought I will be join engineering and I will prepare for the UPSC alongside of the engineering. Then I started preparing for the JE, and in Maharashtra we have the CET exam, just like the JE exam. So for 11th and 12th I prepared for the JE, but unfortunately there was the corona and offline classes shifted to online. So I didn't studied much and I didn't got the results as I expected from the JE exam. So I got a little bit disappointed at that time. So my brother suggested it's okay if J is gone, there is a CET exam, right? So you will prepare for that. And there were 2 months remaining for the CET exam. So he suggested me just prepare for the CET. Then yeah, I prepared for the CET. I scored really well. Yeah. Like the JE, we have the 3 rounds for the college allocation in our Maharashtra. So apart from that 3 rounds, you allocated the college. So I feel the different college which I want, which is in my district and near to me, and which is a bit famous than the Cummins College. But in the 3 rounds, I got the Cummins College itself, and I ended with the good internships and placements. So yeah, I don't have any regret apart from that.
Okay. So it was like a match made in heaven because in all three rounds you got the same college.
Yeah, yes, yes.
It will get
I,
difficult.
I, I, uh, uh, matlab, या मैंने तो स्पॉट के लिए भी ट्राई किया था फॉर दैट कॉलेज दैट आई वांटेड, which is known as Walchand College, which is in Sangli, which is in my district. But I didn't get admission for the IT also and for the computer science also. So yeah, I took the admission after the third round in the Cummins College. But my life was changed entirely when I came to Pune. I met my teachers, the friends. So my life was entirely changed when I entered the Cummins College, and I really thankful for that.
Okay. So how did your coding
Yeah.
journey begin? Because like a lot of times many people face difficulties. You must have faced some difficulties, right? When you first got,
Yeah. Yes.
because it is not related to physics, chemistry, math, and that is what most people study before entering engineering.
Hmm.
So like, how was your first time
Yes.
with coding, and then how did you
Uh,
over time?
I remember my first week in the first semester. So we had a C lab on the Tuesday itself, and there were only one lecture on the C on the Monday. And the little bit introduction, how's the language and how it was introduced there, who was introduced this language. And when I entered in the C lab, and I was like, how to do that? I don't know like how to open the terminal and how to type the command. And that was the trigger point for me, I can say. I matlab, it I took very seriously start learning, and in that week itself I completed all the C playlists from the Janice lectures on the YouTube. And yeah, that's it. Like I started learning, and then I tried writing the program by myself, started learning about loops, strings, and all those things. And yeah, it's going nowadays also.
Yeah,
That's about the
yeah.
coding part.
Yeah. Now I want to talk
Yeah.
about the hot topic DSA, because everyone, like in every interview you have to clear DSA in some sort of round.
Hmm.
I saw this meme.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it would actually happen, but someone was applying for the visa in America, so they went for H-1B visa. So the person was
Hmm.
asked them a DSA question. I think it was a DP question. True
Okay.
or not? But then everyone was
Uh-huh.
DSA is
No,
everything.
I didn't watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, how did you start DSA? Because when you start DSA, like, you feel
Hmm.
you have to go really fast. So like, starting में क्या होता है? A lot of people they solve
Hmm.
around like 50, 100, and then LinkedIn पे भी अपन लोग डालते हैं कि हाँ we have
Hmm.
so many questions. But then वो rush में what happens is,
So yeah.
after some time you forget like the patterns and all of that. You didn't focus on the main core concept. You were
Hmm.
focused on solving n number of
Yeah.
questions. So like, how did you start lead code, and
Hmm.
how should one approach lead code? Like, solve होने के बाद क्या
Yeah.
करना?
So, how to write the codes, that idea I got in my first semester itself from the C language. Then in the next semester we had the Java. Then I learned Java very good from the Code with Harry. I completed all his YouTube videos, and yeah, I got to know about language. And at that time I started solving the problems on the hacker rank, not the TSA, but the basic language problems on the loops, on the strings, and all those things. And then I got to know from my seniors in the next semester, like in the third semester we have DSA in the Java itself. So after my first year ends, in that week, in that holidays, I started learning DSA from the Anuj Giri's channel on the YouTube. So I got a little bit idea what's the DSA, was the arrays, was the hash maps, and all those things. So I started solving the problems on the hacker rank in the third semester. We also have the parallel DSA in my semesters also. So I was writing the exams in my semesters also. Then in fourth semester I literally started solving the problems on the GFG and lit code. At that time I don't started with the lead code, I started with the GFG first. I started solving the low bus playlist. At first I didn't able to solve the single questions. Then I it's okay if you're not able to solve a single question, then s- try for almost 45 minutes or 1 hour. And if you're not okay with it, then go in the section, chat section, and see the solution, understand the solution, and then try to write in with your hands, but just not the copy paste. Try to write with your hands, so you got to know the idea, how it returns and what's the approach they use. So yeah, I follow this approach. Completed the playlist in my fourth semester itself, like whole the love bubbles playlist. playlist. DP and all those things I didn't started at that time. I just started with the arrays, linked lists, hash maps, priority queues. And yeah, after first semester ends, we have the internships in the third year.
Yeah.
So that 2 months was the very really hard for me. Literally for 10 hours I just prepared for the DSA. When matlab in fourth semester the Adobe came with the program Adobe Career Academy, and I was a little bit comfortable at that time in the DSA. At last, in the March and in the April, so I got selected in that program. And then on the week holidays I started preparing DSA very hard. And yeah, that's it. Then I got selected. That's the journey about the DSA.
Okay. So DSM, like, how did you cover like the patterns? Because a
Yeah.
lot of people had that doubt. Because when I was asking like a lot of juniors and other
Ha. Hmm.
people have the doubt,
Yeah.
not able to recognize problems. We have done a lot of.
Hmm.
So did you have some specific
Yeah.
approach, like because sliding window, two pointers? These are
Ha. Yeah.
important patterns, right? Because once you recognize the
Yeah.
pattern, you modify the code depending on the question.
Hmm.
So did you
Hmm.
like explicitly study ki I want to study this pattern, or like, or how should one approach pattern? Because you have to know the pattern.
No,
Hmm.
uh, I started just the playlist. I say previously I started the playlist. I started learning one topic and then solving the questions on that particular topic. But in that 2 months, if whenever I got some new problem and I find difficulty in solving in that, then I prepared one Excel sheet. That idea I got from my seniors. So prepared one Excel sheet, and in that I write the name of the program or DSA problem, and what approach I use, what technology I use, and I just revise those problems at the end of the day or after 2 3 days. So this helped me a lot with questions that I was not able to solve previously. I got able to solve after 2 months. So this is one strategy I can say you can implement if you want. Yeah.
Okay, so like Sakshi
So
mentioned that she revised, she like took notes on
hmm,
different problems and she revised
hmm,
that. And I think when you are doing the
yeah.
play, a lot of patterns are anyways covered in any general
Hmm,
like
yeah.
covers playlist as well. He covers one
Hmm, hmm,
pattern. You follow
yeah.
that rigorously, you will be able to recognize.
Hmm,
Sakshi mentioned she practice a lot. So like I think after you
yeah.
practice a lot, that's only when you will be able to
Ah,
because it's not so
I
forward.
Yeah, I completed the bubble playlist, low bubble sheet also in my first semester, and in the 2 months I completed the Strava sheet. So practice a lot. After some time, you got to know a little bit patterns. You got to know how I solved this problem previously. This is the same pattern you can apply. So practice hard, solve the problems, and after some time, you also able to solve the problems.
Yeah. So like you should
Yeah,
actually spend time in DSA because a lot of people we quit after some time. Like we're able to
yeah.
see easy questions and then once medium comes, we try a bit and then we
Mm,
brute force. Brute
mm,
also doesn't
yeah.
take time because of time.
Yes. Like
So we
it's okay. Like if you're not able to solve the problems at the start, it's okay. If you see the solution, it's okay. You got to know how they use, how approach they use. Even at like now also, if I'm not able to solve any question, I see the solution. It's not the very big deal. But just don't copy. Just understand the approach, understand the solution, and then do the things.
yeah. So main thing is practice is really important. You have to like
Yeah, practice is
jump and
important.
practice. Like she mentioned 10 hours. So even if you can
Yeah.
give 5 to 6 hours, that is a lot because 10 hours requires a lot of dedication. But
Yeah.
can depending on what level you are, you can just like practice
Yeah.
daily, give some time. Now the summer vacation,
Because
but it's okay. You can say
I was in the vacations now, so there were no college study for me. So I was just preparing for the DSA itself, and I also not prepared for the core subjects at that time. I just was focusing on the DSA. Like I have to complete all the Shriver sit in just 2 months, so I was focusing on that, and I completed whole the Shriver sit in the 2 months,
yeah,
and it helps me a lot in the interview.
yeah. So now let's talk about core subjects. Like, do you feel like that was a mistake sometimes? Because in some companies it varies, right? The
Yeah.
difficulty varies. In some companies,
Yes.
like the core subject, sometimes they ask difficult questions. So, like, do you feel like that was a mistake? Like, if you had time again, would you also cover core subjects a bit, even if it was 1 hour? And how to cover the core subjects?
Hmm.
There are mainly three core subjects, I would say: DBMS, operating system, and computer.
Oh,
Yeah. So, let's
see, and
cover
yeah.
the three subjects.
I can say core subjects are really important from the DSA, because in the interview also, if you had a 50 or 40 minutes interview, then first DSA, there were mostly two DSA questions in the interview, not more than that. And first is in the easy to medium level, and second is with medium to hard level. So, and after that, they will ask some questions on the core subject. So I can say prepare for the core subjects. I prepared core subjects in my semester itself. We had OS and DBMS in my third semester. At
Mm.
that time, for the OS, I referred one book which was suggested by my teacher, and I got all the concepts cleared from that book. And for the DBMS, I watched the playlist on the Riti Kumari from the YouTube, which was very good playlist, I can say, for the DBMS. So if you are preparing for the semester exams, or if you want to learn in the deep, then I can say go with the Riti Kumari playlist, which was really good. And after that, when you got the clear idea about the subjects, and after that when you are preparing for the interview, just go with the one shot. I can say the code help from the Babbar, the
Mm.
two one shots for the DBMS and OS, which was really good. I just watched before my interview, which was really good for the concepts. And yeah, that's it. If you got to know a little bit idea about the subjects, then before interview you just have to do the revision, nothing more than that. But do the core subjects, not the DS. I can say you have a good core subject knowledge.
Mm. Because like I think you have to do
Yeah.
more DSA, but you can do it in parallel. Like do DSA and
Hmm.
core subjects as well. You just
Yeah.
divide
Yeah.
them once you know the
Hmm.
core and basic.
Yes.
Like in DBMS, they're limited concepts like
Ha.
and then all of those.
Hmm.
So it's really limited,
Yeah.
and SQL is always there.
Most.
Mm.
Hmm. Mostly for the DBMS, they don't ask the theory. They just ask the query, write the SQL queries, and that's it. If they ask some questions, that's a very basic questions like what's the SQL, what's the no SQL, what's all those things, like what's the MongoDB difference between the MySQL and MongoDB, and all those things, not the very hard things. But for the DBMS, the queries are SQL queries are a little bit hard, I can say, if you are preparing for the very good company.
Mm.
So for that, you can practice on the GFG. GFG have a very good SQL query, so you can practice on that.
Yeah, and then lead code also has some good SQL questions.
Lit code also have the good questions.
And solve the good questions. And I think you
Hmm.
can study your company as well. Nowadays, there are a lot of resources available
Hmm.
in companies,
Hmm.
like previous year questions.
Yeah.
So, like, you should know the basics,
Hmm.
then from company to company, it can definitely vary a bit.
Hmm.
But CN,
Yes.
in some companies, they ask more. In some companies, now
Hmm.
they've started asking system design as well. So, I think it would depend
Hmm.
from company to company. So,
Personally, we don't have the CN, because CN we have in the third semester.
mm,
So in our college, the companies came for the internship. They don't ask CN because it's not in our syllabus. Because up to second year we don't study for the CN, but for the placements I have to prepare for the CN, and
yeah,
it's important, I can say.
yeah,
And
and
OOPS also, OOPS concepts also. There are direct questions on the OOPS concept. I have the one question in my interview, like what's the abstraction, and gave some real life example of the abstraction. So also prepare for the OOPS concepts, I can say.
okay, so OOPS operating system and other subject was
DBMS, DBMS and CN.
CN. And if you're
Yeah.
looking for
Hmm.
place off campus, I think they probably ask a lot more
Assistant.
compared to on campus, but
Yeah. There.
for
Yeah.
placement they ask computer networks and all of that. So if you're doing internship, you can do a bit less of computer networks, but for placement again you have to do everything. So you say at
Hmm.
the day you have to cover everything. So like cover those topics.
Yeah.
Now, Sakshi, I want to talk about hackathons because a lot of people are scared about hackathons. The good thing about your college is there are a lot of like tied up hackathon, right? Like Mastercard. I've seen a couple of posts on LinkedIn. So like Mastercard and a couple more companies organize their hackathons for like a bunch of colleges, and there are
Hmm.
many other hackathon opportunities that are always present. So like, how did you leverage hackathons? Because what I feel is when we're building projects alone, sometimes you get bored after some time. But when you have to build it for a hackathon, you end up
Hmm.
actually building
Yeah.
something special, and the experience of like having a 24-hour hackathon or something like that, it's really thrilling because like towards the end there's a lot of pressure on you, and at the end of the day you end up building something. So like what is your advice about hackathons, and should you take part in hackathons from like first second year, like,
Hmm.
or like should only experts take part in hackathons?
No, it's not like that. If you are really interested, working on the live projects, because hackathons are mostly on the live projects, like we have to build something that's really exists in the real life. Personally, I didn't participate in the hackathons in my first year and second year. I was very focusing towards my internship. But when I got internship, like I got internship very early in my second week of my third year itself. So I started preparing for the hackathons. I started participating in the hackathons. For the Mastercard, there was also the test, like online assessment, like the Adobe took. So I was selected through the first online assessment. They selected the 5 good colleges from the Pune for the hackathon. They selected total 100 students from all over the Pune, and then they made the group of 8 peoples from the different colleges, and there were hackathon in the Mastercard office itself. So it was for the 12 hours hackathon completely, and we have to build a feedback form for the one NGO. They want a good feedback form. It's not just like the feedback form we feel in the Google, right? They want something good, something interesting. So I worked on that project. For the City Bridge hackathon also, it was the program, it's not the hackathon, it was the program conducted by the city. It was a 5 days full program. We have to go to the city office every day at the morning. For we reach around 9 a.m. and we leave around 5 p.m. So it's like the college for us for the 5 days. They taught a lots of concepts like the Kubernetes, about the containers, and all the, like a little bit good subjects of the computer science. And then at the last day we have the hackathon for the overnight. It was a overnight hackathon, and we built the solution in the overnight itself. For that I worked on the civil score calculation. We have to make one system which calculate the civil score. Mostly in India, the civil score calculation is for the personal matlab, for the persons, or for the very good companies which have a very strong background, financial background, but not for the startups. Just they are
Hmm.
starting their business right now, so bank don't assure that how we can give the loans to that companies. So we have to build something for that. So I worked on that, and yeah, it was really good experience for me. Then I also participated in the other hackathons, like the Walmart hackathon, Flipkart Grid also. I was not the winner in all the hackathons, but it gives a very good idea. It gives the understanding of how the things we I can say start participating in the hackathons if you got the chance. Not in the hackathon, start participating in the simple competitions that was held in your colleges. Like most of the colleges have the innovation in their colleges, so start participating in that. Then also start participate do the volunteering in the event, so you got to know how the things works, how people how teams work together. So you got to a little bit idea about this. So start practicing, start participating, I can say, if you have a time, if you are really willing to do that. If not, then prepare DSA, I can say.
Okay. So now I want to talk about GitHub. So how did you use GitHub? So I just wanted some tips regarding GitHub and LinkedIn as well, because a lot of people they don't use LinkedIn too much. They're like afraid of using it. So any tips regarding like how to maintain your GitHub profile and how to
Okay.
maintain your LinkedIn profile.
um I can say, if you are building a very small projects also, so push it on the GitHub, because GitHub is the proof that you work really on it. So start with the small projects, build a little bit projects. Even if you watch the one YouTube video and then you are preparing the project, it's fine, but just upload it on the YouTube, and sorry, on the GitHub. And maintain, matlab, I personally, I have very small projects on my GitHub account, but I don't deleted it, because it gives a really good impression that yeah, we works on something, we started learning something, we learned something. So I can say, if you are building a very small project, then push it on the GitHub. That's said. About the LinkedIn, I started using LinkedIn in my second semester maybe. uh, at that time I also don't have anything to put it on my account, just the undergraduate student at the Cummins College. This was only line in my profile at that time, but I started making connections. I started sending requests to the good people who can share good resources, good knowledge on the LinkedIn. And even today also I spend a lot of time to using the LinkedIn itself. And after some time you got some achievements, then put it on your account. So even if any other recruiter was just gone through your account, then yeah, it will be helpful to you to start using the LinkedIn, make some good connections, reach out the people, ask the questions. If someone you got to know they cleared a very good interview, they are in the good company, then ask the questions how their journey started, how they prepared. So yeah, LinkedIn is really helpful for that.
Okay. And you can also check out various podcasts and all of that. People upload that as well on LinkedIn. And yeah,
Yeah,
the other things related to that. So like,
LinkedIn LinkedIn is really good, really good platform to reach out the peoples, and sharing the knowledge. It's really good platform. I can say start building your account on the LinkedIn. Even if the small achievements you have participated in some events or something, just put it your just upload your certificate or just in one line post it. I participated in this hackathon or any event and I got to learn something and all those things. So it's good, I can say.
okay. Now, Sakshi,
LinkedIn
how
is good.
the experience been at Adobe? Because a lot of people are interested about the result because internship and all of that is fine. We cover that in all the podcasts.
Yeah.
So, how is your experience been so far? In like, I think you recently started your internship.
Before coming here, yeah, before coming here, I was very nervous, like how I can perform in the Adobe because it's very huge company, and no, I didn't visited any company before that. I went to the Mastercard and City company, but that was in Pune, and that was a small companies. But coming here in Bangalore and visiting the Adobe for the first time, so it was a very good experience for me. And Adobe life is really really good. There is no office time for us. The time is really flexible. Whenever you want to come you can come, whenever you want to leave you leave. Don't wait for your manager to leave, your mentor to leave. And the food is really amazing here. The people, they are supportive. And currently I'm working on the live project, so a little bit fear in us, like how we can perform on the live project because they are preparing for the production, right? So a little bit fear in mind, but the people are very supportive. My mentor, my manager really supports me
Yeah.
how to write the things, how to learn the things. So Adobe life is really good and I'm really enjoying here. I can say the food is really good in the Adobe. I can say that's really good. Yeah.
Coming from hostel food, it must be way better than hostel food.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't
yeah.
go
It's 100% better than my hostel and PG food. I stay up to do dinner and lunch in my office itself. So I went around 9 from my PG and I came back at 9:30 in the PG. So I spent my 12 hours in my office itself.
Yeah, and like there'll be
Yeah.
that.
So Arabic life is really good.
Yeah, I don't make some
Hmm?
big mistake on. I don't make some wrong commit on GitHub. Okay. So yeah,
Yes.
Sakshi, thank
Yeah,
you.
that was one I can share
Yes.
experience. First time I raised my PR. So my mentor find the 24 mistakes in that single PR, and I spent my 2 days just to revise all this concept and making the mistakes correct. So that was my first experience about the raising the PR. But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Sakshi, thank you so much for coming for my podcast. It was great talking to you. So like
yeah,
some final message or do you have some shout out for because you mentioned your friends, your college a lot. So if you want to mention anyone who's
yeah.
instrumental in this journey, you can
Uh,
any final message for best for everyone, like your college juniors as well and for other people as well.
yeah. I really thankful for my college for providing such a very good opportunity for me, because if I in the another college, then maybe I'm not the interning in the Adobe. So I was very thankful for my college for that. The Sakshi after 12th and the Sakshi right now, it's just because of the Cummins College and the friends and the teachers. The teachers also in our college are very supportive. They helps to find the internships, to work perform. Matlab, if you want some off also in your college, and if you are doing some internships works, then they also support you for that. So I was very thankful for my college, for my friends, for my parents. They supports me a lot. So yeah, there is a shout out for my parents also. And one advice for juniors are start preparing from today. Don't wait for the tomorrow. Just start with one DSA problem today. It's fine. If you spend 2 hours today, it's almost really, really fine. But start from today. And one thing we can do when we don't have any knowledge, we ask other persons. Like we ask a lot of many questions, and with different peoples, how to build a plan, how to solve the problems. But we don't start, actually we just spend our time to asking the questions and building the plan, but we don't start to actually work on that plan. So I can say ask less peoples, ask good quality questions, but start preparing and start working on your plan, I can say.
Yeah, you can probably
Yeah.
say that one DSA problem keeps the rejection away. So, like,
Yeah.
you could
Yes.
a problem at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, thank you so much, Sakshi. It was great to learn about your
Yeah.
industry, and I think we learned a good
Yeah.
amount of information about DSA because a lot of people have those doubts. So, like, we covered that in detail as well, and it was just really good talking to you. I also learned a couple of things
Yeah.
for this podcast. So, thank you so much
Thanks.
for coming.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you so much.